the best African selection. Fresh vibes from around the continent, featuring Africa's renowned celebrity artists. Afromix, exclusive to BMTV.
London.
I'm feeling vibes on vibes. I'm a ticking dynamite. I blow your candle lights. You know I'm just that type. No, them no fit kill my vibe. Them no fit kill my vibe. Them no fit kill. Them no fit kill. Them no fit kill my. Wise man said, follow the stars. There you shall find a piece of advice. If you hit your enemies, enemies shine. If you're not a friend of me, enter the light. Cause you can never kill my vibe. Got here with no sacrifices. Everything was taken, still had to make it. Vibe killer, me I no go take shit. Vibe killer, bloody somebody time. Protect my energy from your bad aura. Then my pastor say I be my healer. Everything I desire, I go receive. My rhythm flow like a river. If you get yawa, come on go and sit down. I go just para, come off my jigger. I go just pay, follow my dream. I'm feeling vibes on vibes. I'm a ticking dynamite. I blow your candle lights. You know I'm just that type. No, them no fit kill my vibe. Them no fit kill my vibe. You no fit kill, you no fit kill, you no fit kill my vibe. I see you watching my stories. I see you gauging my lifestyle. I see you watching my movements. This bad bitch bad every day. I know they look at your face. Bad man bad every day. Get on your knees and pray till you regain your faith. Bloody somebody time, protect my energy from your bad aura. Then my pastor say I be my healer, everything I desire. I go receive my rhythm, flow like a river. If you get yawa, come on go and sit down. I go just para, come off my jigger. I go just pay, follow my dream. I'm feeling vibes on vibes. I'm a ticking dynamite. I blow your candle lights. You know I'm just that type. No, them no fit kill my vibe. You no fit kill my vibe. You no fit kill, you no fit kill, you no fit kill my vibe.
What up, soul music fans and whoever's watching this video? Today we're talking about stylist for image and sales. You know, nothing happens until a sale takes place. I'm Millie G and this is Soul of Music.
Yote tingo yambana Kupisa pali ponze chabe tingo kambana Chikwati chatu sichisebenza Therefore, I think ine manje nayenda Nayenda ine
The most important element in business success or music success is selling. Nothing happens until a sale takes place. All the factories, businesses, offices, and producers of goods and services leap into action only when someone, somewhere, makes a sale to someone. Selling is one of the hardest professions here in Zambia. It is also the only profession in which a person can start with limited skills to achieve one of the highest incomes in our economy. Moving onward and upward in sales is like driving an autobahn in Germany. There are no speed limits. You can go as fast as you want by stepping on the accelerator on your own ambition and determination to excel in the profession of sales. Thousands of bankrupt or insolvent companies have been analyzed over the years to determine why they failed. After all the data was sorted and studied, virtually every business failure came down to one reason: low sales. In contrast, whenever a business was succeeding, growing, yielding profitability, increasing its share prices, and offering opportunity for more and more people, the reason boiled down to one factor: high sales. Everything else was secondary. Almost everything you do in a business either increases or decreases sales. Everything either helps or hurts. Everything either attracts and keeps more customers or drives them away. Everything counts when it comes to sales. The discipline of generating sales. Whether you are a salesperson or a business owner or a producer, you require the self-discipline to focus and concentrate on generating sales every hour, every business day. A group of researchers interviewed several hundred senior executives and business owners and asked them, how important are sales and marketing in your business? Without exception, they all replied saying, sales and marketing are obviously absolutely essential to our survival and growth. The researchers then conducted a time and motion study on the same business owners and executives, following them around and tracking their time usage over the course of the month. At the end of that time, they completed their calculations and determined that the average business owner or executive who professed that sales were absolutely essential to survival and growth was spending only 11% of his time on sales and marketing. The remaining time was spent on meetings, discussions, paperwork, administrative work, luncheons, and a variety of other activities that contributed nothing to sales generation. If you are a sales manager or a business owner, you must discipline yourself to focus most of your time and attention on getting your salespeople to generate the sales in which your company depends. You must spend 75% of your time working with your salespeople and accompanying them when they visit your customers to make presentations and sales. Do your paperwork before or after work, but during working hours, when customers are available to be seen, you should dedicate yourself entirely to sales generation.
How to go broke. Some years ago, I started a new business. I developed the product and then began advertising via direct mail, radio, television, and newspaper. I allowed myself to become completely overwhelmed with planning, paperwork, and advertising activities. By the end of the year, I was out of money and my business was almost broke. At that time, I realized that I had taken my eyes off the ball of sales. I then realized, when I sat down over summer and designed a complete sales process. On August 2nd, I picked up the telephone and I began making appointments. Over the next 2 months of aggressive and focused sales activity, I did more business than I had done over the entire previous year. I saved my business and my home, and I never lost sight of that focus again.
One of the most important questions you can ask as a salesperson, or as an artist, or as an entrepreneur, or as a business owner is whether what you're doing right now is leading to a sale. Ask this question of yourself repeatedly throughout the day. Every time the answer comes up, know you must immediately stop whatever you're doing or lower value and turn your attention to sales generation. In addition, make sure that other people who are responsible for sales in your company ask and answer the question in the affirmative all day long. Overcome your fear of rejection. Assuming that you have an attractive product or service, one that is reasonably priced and suited to the current market, the biggest problem that telephone salespeople and outside salespeople face is rejection. The fear of rejection does more to sabotage a sales career and undermine sales activities than any other single factor. It is a major obstacle to sales success. It takes tremendous discipline for salespeople to get up every morning and go out and face the inevitable rejection that they know they are going to receive all day long. Most people cannot handle this continuous rejection. Therefore, to avoid the emotional pain that comes with rejection, many salespeople engage in a series of displacement activities to avoid being rejected. First of all, they make fewer calls. According to the Columbia University, the average salesperson works about 90 minutes per day. In other words, only about 1.5 hours of an 8-hour day, he spends the rest of the time warming up and getting ready, shuffling paperwork, checking the internet, reading the newspaper, chatting with coworkers, coming in late, leaving early, and taking extended lunches and coffee breaks. As a result, by the end of the day, on average, a salesperson has worked only 90 minutes. Increase face time with customers and prospects. When is a salesperson working? The salesperson is working only when he or she is ear to ear, on the phone, or face to face with someone who can and will buy within a reasonable period of time. The rule of sales success can be contained in 6 words. Spend more time with better prospects. There is no other way to generate a high, consistent, and predictable level of sales results. Because of the fear of rejection, however, salespeople procrastinate and delay throughout the sales day, doing everything possible to avoid face-to-face with people who can say no. The key results or key sales success, as I learned as a young salesman, is to realize the rejection is not personal. Prospective customers always say things like, "No, I'm not interested," or variation of, "I don't want it, I don't need it, I can't use it, I can't afford it," or "I'm not in the market right now," or "I'm happy with my existing supplier." The professional salesperson realizes that these are simply normal and natural responses to any commercial offer in a competitive marketplace. Again, they are not personal, so don't take them personally. Remain positive and optimistic. The key to sales success is to eliminate the fear of rejection, to become so confident and optimistic that you can call continually all day long and still remain positive and cheerful. As Winston Churchill said, and I quote, "Success is the ability to go from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm," end quote. There is a direct relationship between the number of new customers, contacts you make, and your level of sales. If you want to increase the number of sales, simply discipline yourself to call on more prospects. When you increase your level of sales activity, you also activate the law of probabilities to work on your behalf. You tap into the law of averages. You work with the numbers to ensure success. How to double your sales income? Practice the minutes principle. In your sales work, this principle says that if you are earning all the money that you are earning today with only the number of minutes you are spending face to face with customers today, by increasing that number of minutes, you can also increase your sales. With outside salespeople, we encourage them to double the number of minutes they spend face to face with customers. We teach them to use every bit of intelligence and creativity they have to increase the amount of time they spend talking in person with prospects, rather than following the path of least resistance and allowing themselves to procrastinate getting out into the marketplace. In almost every case, when a salesperson doubles the number of minutes that he or she spends face-to-face or ear-to-ear with customers, that salesperson's sales double as well. This is not an accident. It is based on law, the law of probabilities. Control your sales activities. You can seldom tell where your next sale is going to come from. Therefore, you have to cast a wide net and speak to as many prospective customers as possible. The actual sale itself is not under your direct control. It is controlled by a variety of factors about which you can do very little. But the activities that lead to sales are completely under your control. The rule is do what you can with what you have right now where you are. To achieve high levels of sales success, you must discipline yourself to plan all your days and weeks in advance. You must discipline yourself to plan your sales activities, especially your prospecting activities, every single day. And then you have to discipline yourself to follow through on your plans and resolutions. Improve your ratios. There are certain ratios in selling that largely determine how many sales you make. These ratios vary depending on your level of experience and ability, the competition, the prices of your products and services, and the general market. Nonetheless, these ratios always exist. There is a direct ratio between the number of cold calls you make and the number of prospective customers that you will be able to talk to or visit. There is a direct ratio between the number of prospective customers that you see or talk to and the number of prospects that you can follow up on. There is a direct ratio between the number of people you follow up on with proposals and presentations and the number of sales that you close. You can also think of this as a sales funnel. Into the funnel, for example, the broad end go your prospects. The second part of your funnel is your presentations. The third part is where you follow up and close the sale. Keys sales success. You have two responsibilities when it comes to achieve success in sales. First of all, keep your funnel full. Always have more prospects to call on than you have time during the day. Never let your funnel become empty. Never run out of prospects. Secondly, get better at each stage of selling. Study, read, listen to audio programs, and upgrade your skills in prospecting, presenting, and closing sales. The better you get, the fewer prospects you require in the top of your funnel to generate sales out of the bottom of the funnel. Start early. Discipline yourself to make your first call early in the morning by 7 or 8 o'clock. When you start your day with a face-to-face sales call, you will be more energized and motivated to continue selling all day long. Discipline yourself to cluster your calls in a small geographical area so that you can get face-to-face with more people in a shorter amount of time. Many salespeople, because of their fear of rejection, spread their calls out over a large geographical area and convince themselves that they're actually working when they're really simply driving from call to call. Remember, you're working only when you're ear to ear or face to face with someone who can and will buy within a reasonable period of time. At all other times, you are unemployed. Set higher standards for yourself. Discipline yourself to act every minute of the day as if everyone were watching you. Outside salespeople require a higher level of discipline than people who work in the office where everyone can see them. Because salespeople are their own, like gorillas fighters in the sales jungle, the temptation is never ending to slack off, to take it easy, or to go for a coffee or lunch rather than make sales calls. To perform at your best, you must discipline yourself to work throughout the day as though your sales manager was doing a ride along. Imagine your sales manager sitting next to you all day long. How would you work differently if someone were accompanying you and observing everything you do or you did throughout the day? Whatever your answer is to the question, that is how you should work, even when no one else is around. All sales skills are learnable. To become one of the highest paid salespeople in your industry, you must discipline yourself to practice continuously personal and professional development. Read in your field every day. Listen to educational audio programs in your car as you drive along. Attend every sales seminar you can, whether sponsored by your company or not. Dedicate yourself to continuous learning as if your future depends on it, because it does. The turning point in my life when I was young salesman, frustrated and unhappy, going in circles and barely making a living, was when I learned the law of cause and effect. I learned that if you do what the most successful salespeople do over and over, there is nothing that can stop you from eventually achieving the same results and rewards that they do. I learned that every salesperson in the top 10% started in the bottom 10%. Everyone who is doing well today was at one time doing poorly. Every person at the top of your field was at one time not in your field at all and did not know that it existed. I learned that all sales skills are learnable. You can learn any sales skill you need to learn to achieve any sales goal you can set for yourself. There are no limits except the limits you place on yourself with your own thinking. When you discipline yourself to become one of the top salespeople in your field, you will find that you will have turned an important corner in your career. Most salespeople do not only what they do have to keep their jobs, but those people who resolve to become the most best in their fields accomplish far more than anyone else. Your job is to be one of them.
Yose tingo yambana kupeza bali ponze chabe tingo kambana chikwati chatu sichisebenza I think ine manje nayenda
kill my